Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all doing on this fine evening? We are here for GRL Brazil finale race. So how is everyone doing here? In this horrible weather in the UK, but hopefully it'll be all sunny and dry for the drivers tonight, as they would have hoped for tonight's race. So I will get everything up. I'll put all the information in, etc, etc. Then we'll get sorted and going soon. So I need to put the link in the chat. There we go. GRL, everything's sorted. We're at 7 o'clock, so we should be going soon. So hopefully there won't be too much of a delay. I don't think we're waiting for some more drivers, then we should be off to go for the Brazilian race. We should be going off round about now, hopefully. Well, I think I started the stream a bit too early, but we'll just wait for some more drivers to come in. And we've got some viewers in the stream. Let's see who's in the comment section then. And it is, I'm back at Brazil again. Oh, Harry Deacon, my guy, how's it going? Not seen you for a long time. It's been a long time since I spoke to you, mate. Nice to see you back in the stream. You said you're back at Brazil, so who are you? Are you Hazardico? Mate, this brings back so many memories. We've got Beastie Boy, we've got Ginge, we've got Hazardica, and Craigo. I used to race with these guys a long time ago. You don't realise how long that was ago. We've all separated different ways, I think, but some still talk to others, but I barely speak to anybody now. But look at that, it brings back so many memories racing with these drivers. I used to race with Craigo, I used to race with Hazardica, I used to race with Beastie Boy and Ginge a long time ago, back in 2018, so that was some 2 years ago. Couldn't believe it was that long ago. They were good times, so they were good times. I remember my first ever league back in 2018. It was quite shocking, in all honesty. No offence to the league owner, but it was just a bit complicated and complex to what he was doing in his league. Eventually, it got shut down, but I think that was all expected. Honestly, when it was my first time league racing there, I thought that's what other leagues were gonna be like. You have to purchase cars, you have to do this and do that. But in leagues, all you have to do is choose your car, and that's what you race with for the rest of the season. Honestly, mate, I actually don't remember because my memory's not that good. I don't like to think back to the past, so I can't really exactly remember. I do remember a race in Brazil. But I was in the wet, but I don't know if it was the one you're talking about because it couldn't have been you there. This track is a difficult track, especially around sector 2. It requires a lot of speed and commitment through there. Turn 1, turn 2 and turn 3 is quite difficult. You need to get the angle of the corner right, you need to get the entry correct, especially down into turn 2. It's very easy to validate, and through turn 3 as well if you go out wide through there. And I think we're about to go, so we're about to exit Q1, and Q1's about 18 minutes long. So the top 16, the top 15 make it through, and the bottom 5 get knocked out. That's how it usually works in Q1. Q2, whatever you set your best time on, that's the tyres you start on. And I don't know the strategy around here. I remember last game it was soft to medium, but I don't know if that's the case this year, depending how long the tyres can go for. But the soft to medium was ideal last year. This year, a bit different. I think it's definitely a one stop because tyre wear Brazil is actually not that too bad. Hello, Raf, how are you? As we move on into Q1 then, for our first qualifying session, the aim of the game is just to get inside the top 15. Some will find it easier than others, some will find it difficult, but the top runners should only do like 1 lap and that should be it for them, but the guys down at the bottom should do like 2 or 3 laps to try and get themselves into the top 15. It's only 16 drivers, so it won't be too bad. Oh, good to know, mate. Good to know. I hope for the best race for you, Raf. It was a long time ago since I first started league racing. I hope there's no problems with the game, because I know there's going to be a lot of glitching, technical difficulties with this game. That there always is, but we're in the session for Q1. Be interested to see some interference with your mic. Better for you guys, but please tell me if there is like any interference whatsoever. But I know that I watched my other stream yesterday and days before, and it did start glitching out at one point, so apologies about that as I get all the data up. Right, so we've got a Ferrari coming out of the garage. Is that Killer J? That was a McLaren actually coming out of the garage, and it is Hassel. Hassel is coming out of the garage. His teammate is Hazardika, the guy that's first started league racing with. Let me just turn the volume down a bit because it's a bit loud. Brazil can provide some good racing. There's loads of DRS trades, especially around here. Can be hard to overtake, especially when you're stuck in the trade. I know the feeling because I've been stuck in the trade quite a lot around here. It's not a nice feeling whatsoever, because you know you can't make your way through. You just need to set yourself up nicely coming out of Junsao in order to get that slipstream on top of the hill and try and get down into turn 1. If not, you need to get a decent exit coming out of turn 1 and turn 2 and make your way down into turn 4 and try and overtake him there. So Hassel on his outlap there coming to Junsao. This can be difficult on traction, especially if you've got that curb too much, but you don't want to dip your wheel into the grass. So on board with the McLaren driver, opening DRS past the pit lane straight as we start our first lap time, as we head down into turn 1, braking just before the 50-metre point. You want to clip the apex into turn 1, as do into turn 2, and try not to go too wide through turn 3. Take the tightest line through there to minimise the distance, as DRS is now open as we head onto the short straight coming to the Ciego de Largo. Brake before the 50-metre borg, hook the apex, use the outside curbs for support, take the tightest line through there, as now we come to the top of the hill. Go down 2 gears into this one and just hope for the best and try not to go too out wide, which he almost did. Any wider than that, that would have been an invalidation and he would have to go for another lap, but thankfully it wasn't hit an invalidation and he can continue. Then this is just traction zone, just be careful coming through these corners because it requires a lot of grip and a lot of traction as well, especially when rotating through there. Coming downhill then, as now we head into Junsao. 52.2 through the middle sector. I don't know if that's decent or not, as we exit Junsao coming to the top of the hill. Final corner this is with DRS wide open. Let's see where he can go. Obviously pole, because he's the first man to cross the line. It's a 9.0 for him, as we've got a Renault next to cross the line and he's going into the pits. The Renault is going to cross the line next, but he's going to do his flying lap. And I'm going to go on board with one of the Ferrari or Alpha drivers. There he is. It's a 51.9. Krieger is disqualified for blocking the pit entry. He will be started down in last place, as Hero has gone up into first place, but Indian Jesus has taken it by 1.3 seconds. It's a 107.3 and he's already comfortable in the 7s then. The time they should aim for a low 7 or a high 6, and he's already got himself into that comfortable time zone. So elsewhere the track, we've got some more drivers going across the line to start their lap or finish their lap. Killer J did invalidate his lap and I think he's going to go for it again. We've got more drivers on their laps. Hazardika, interested to go on board with, because I know he was quite quick back in the 2018 days. Let's see what his pace is like in the 2020 game. 2019 I didn't see much of him, and it's a 51.5 for that middle sector. I think he's a 10th down on what Hero did in second place. Hazardika then, DRS wide open. Where can he get his Renault? Is he going to be in the 7s? Nope, it's an 8.0. So he's a long distance away from Indian Jesus, as JJ Knots, another familiar face, has joined the session then, so he can take part in this qualifying, because you can take your car. All you have to do is go to and take control. Obviously I can't take control because I'm a spectator, but if you press ready up, and you can take control of one of these cars, whatever your car you're allocated into then. So who's this? It's the Hash driver that's going to cross the line, and that was just a not a representative back line. Killer J goes up into 5th place with an 8.7, a few hundreds away from 4th place. Sadistic King on the medium compound tyres, interestingly, he pops up into 8th place now because he got demoted. Ralph has gone up into 4th place. I'm so tempted to say Rachel for some reason. Godly Dead starts his lap heading down into turn 2. A bit hesitant through there, coming into turn 2. Compromises right into turn 3. Flat out through turn 3 there. Take the tightest line as you can. And we go down the hill. And 16.8, break before the 50-metre mark. He made, oh yeah, he's definitely going to have to back out of that one. He made a mistake by going on the curb and he lost traction. Thankfully he didn't hit the wall. If he kept the car pinned, if he kept the throttle pinned, he would have went into the wall, which he didn't do. We've got some cars in the middle sector, so let's see what they're doing. He's not on a lap time, is he? He's not on a lap time. He's 6/10 down in the middle sector. I don't think he is. Killer J's a validator. Jack DNF has gone off the track. Sadistic Kings on those medium compound tyres, interestingly. Godly Numb getting out of the way for Shadow Moody, who's next to come. So who's on the lap then? I think Shadow Moody is going to be on a lap. He's currently down in 15th place, but he'll change that. And the middle sector will be a 52.9, so it's a few tenths down on what we've seen so far. I believe that's his teammate in front of him, and I don't know. Oh, who's that? That's Jack DNF. What is he doing? He's not. What was that, Jack? He's ran out of fuel, mate, so you should get out the racing line because that was dangerous. Shadow Moody has gone to 10th place with a 1.9.6. He's 6/10 off a hassle. That would have cost him a lot of time, and he's validated it through turn 2. Godly Dumb has gone for it again, going down into turn 1. Nicely done through turn 2 as well. Could have carried a bit more speed through turn 2, but I don't think he was confident enough to do that, as we're on the short straight. Hopefully Jack's out of the way and he's in the pits as we come down into turn 4. Ride the apex through there, use the outside curves for support, take the tightest line as J Killer gets nice out of the way for us. As we come through turn 5, drop 2 gears, you want to pin the throttle as much as you can, trust in the car with the downforce. All about mechanical grip through there. You just need to trust the car as much as you can. This one, just chuck it in. You don't want to get on that curve too much. You just need to focus on the exit of the corner to make sure you have the traction. The same as this one as well. It's easy to lose traction through here. Gets on the loud pedal then as we head down to John Sao. It's a 51.2 in that middle sector. Exiting John Sao, he's taking a lot of different lines through there, so he needs to improve that if he wants to get the best lap time as he possibly can. DRS is now wide open. Let's see where the Alfa Romeo driver can go. This will be a 7.8 and he goes up into 2nd place ahead of Hazardika. So we've got 2 drivers in the 7s then, or the rest of them are in the 8s and 9s. The Renault driver of Decino, 51.3 in the middle sector, quite similar what Godly Numb did, so let's see where he can go. No one matching Indian Jesus, so Indian Jesus half a second clear of 2nd place, but the track evolution will start to kick in, so we might see some more lap times towards the end of qualifying. He crossed the line, he goes up into 2nd place, it's a 107.7, it is a 10th clear of Godly Numb, so not too, he's about 4 tenths away from Indian Jesus. Still needs improving because he needs to put the challenge on if he wants to beat Indian Jesus. Is the one to beat then. You never know, they could be doing some bankers or not pushing too hard in this qualifying session. Shadow Moody will be on a lap. Beastie Boys on his hour lap. JJ Knots then, and that's not where you want to go, and that's a 17.3 in the 1st sector. He misses the apex, so compromises his exit and loses a lot of time. As we now come through to what? Ooh. Yeah, we'll go on board with somebody else then. He's off the track, but he's run out of fuel, I think. Who's the car behind him? It is the Hash driver. Is he backed out of it? Yes, he has. He's done 3 laps on those set of soft tyres, so he's doing quite a lot of laps to try and get a feel for this track. That's what I sometimes do in Q1, but at the same time you don't really want to risk it, because you never know, you can crash out. If you do crash out, you can't take part into Q2 or Q3 despite making it in the required position, so you just need to be careful not to make any mistakes. You can make mistakes obviously by invalidating it, because it won't affect his lap time. Well, it will, but it won't affect where he is now because he's already set a lap time. But if he does crash, that'll affect him quite a lot, because he won't make it to the next part of qualifying despite being in it. Because if you crash the car, you have no chance of making it through to Q2 or Q3 despite being in a safe position. He's done 4 laps on those soft compound tyres, so I don't really expect any improvements from him, but let's see how he manages it on those age of tyres. They won't really affect him, but it will affect him in terms of the absolute best lap time, because he won't have the grip he wants to, as Hazardika has got up into 5th place. Beastie Boy has got up into 4th place, but the Haas driver is improving on his 4th lap on the same set of soft tyres, interestingly. So let me get it correct. Yes, he is on the same set of softs, so he's improving despite being on those old set of softs, telling me he's got more pace in the bag. He crosses the line, he improves his time, but not his position, and he goes up, he stays in 6th place, and he improves his time by 2/10. Tells me he's got a lot more pace to come despite being on those old tyres. Not really old, but in terms of qualifying, in sporting context, they're old. You only want to be doing like 1 lap on those tyres to get the absolute best out of them. Ginger then, making his way through turn 5 and turn 6, the long right hander, now through turn 8, misses the apex, but he needs to run down to turn 8 to make it all happen. Focus on the exit, it's very easy to drop the car through there, as Decino has retired from the session. So Craigo being disqualified, then he won't set a lap time. It's a 51.3 in the middle sector. I've seen quite a few 51.3s in that middle sector, so quite a close pace between all of them. He crosses the line now, and he goes up into 3rd place, Gingy. So he moves into ahead of Hazardiko. Just needs to be careful with the steering and pull, because he doesn't want to be doing that. Around this 4.3 kilometer circuit, and if you want miles, it's his 2.6 miles around this circuit. He's not on a lap really. Beastie Boy, is he on another lap? The Haas driver gets nice out of the way for him. Yes, he is. It's a 50.9. That's the best. That's the best middle sector I've seen so far. I didn't go on board with Indian Jesus, so I don't know what his middle sector is like. But can he beat him? Can he be the first driver to beat Indian Jesus? Will he close that deficit? He crosses the line. It's a 107.2, and he beats him by a 1/10. So we might have some competition after all, because it's not going to be just him on his own. We've got 5 minutes to go in this session, so JJ needs to improve his lap time because he is currently knocked out. Shadow Moody is on the verge of getting knocked out. Depends if JJ can improve or not. Raf has improved by half a second in the middle sector, so he's found some time in there. Obviously, because he's on the soft compound tyres, his best lap time was on the mediums, but he's switched over to the better compound. As he crosses the line, he goes up into 7th place, so we can tell he's safe. The Haas driver blocks on 3/10 quicker in the middle sector compared to his best lap time. He's about 8/10 slower in the middle sector compared to Beastie Boy. Beastie Boy doing 3 laps on those set of softs. So blocks on, comes across the line, and he goes up into 8th place ahead of his other Haas teammate. Tells me he's in the pits. Yes, he is in the pits. That was his other teammate. Right, there's a Sadistic King on the soft compound tyres. That Haas driver gets nicely out of the way for him. He did say his best lap time on the medium, so he's got to be careful that he doesn't get knocked out. And takes a rather interesting route to coming into turn 4. Not seen anyone do that before, so I wonder what that was. JJ Knox then, he's not on a lap time, I think he's on his hour lap on a brand new set of soft tyres, but JJ's going to be careful of what lines he's taking, because the lines he's taking is not helping his case whatsoever in terms of trying to get the best lap time he can possibly perform. Middle sector is quite tough for him as well. Jack's retired in the pits because he knows, what, is he safe? He's down in 12th place, depending if the other drivers can improve. 51.5 then the middle sector from Sadistic King. He's about 6/10 off of the best middle sector we've seen so far. Best middle sector is a 50.9 for Beastie Boy. As Sadistic King then will come across the line, and let's see where he can go. He goes up, stays in 13th place, interestingly. No, he goes up into 7th place as we've got a migrating hose as Beastie Boy has left the session. Hopefully that does not affect the lobby, but we've got JJ Knox on his flying lap. We're heading down into turn 5. Much better than what I've seen last time, but the rear of the car goes because he took too much of the curb. He stayed on the curb while flat out, so the rear was just getting loose at the end. Not too bad through there. Now coming into turn, I don't know what turn that is. That's turn 10. Now we come through downhill into turn 11. Flat out through there as we come through turn 12. So someone's taken out the 50 meter board. I didn't quite see what the middle sector was because I was focusing on the meter board being taken out. As JJ Knox then will come across the line. Let's see if he get himself out of Q1. He improves his lap time, but he's 2/10 shy of Shadow Moody, who's improving in that middle sector at 52.7 from Shadow Moody. So he will improve his time, but I don't think his position, unless he can find more time in that last sector, which he's coming up right now. He's backed out of it. No, he's run out of fuel. Shadow Moody ran out of fuel on the line, and he's not improved his time. That must be absolutely frustrating. And he cannot go for it again because he hasn't got enough time. So Shadow Moody, he's safe anyway, so it doesn't even matter. But for his preference, oh, that's a massive crash, and that's JJ Knox who's crashed. But for next time, to make sure that mistake doesn't happen again, just put a bit more fuel in the car. The McLaren driver then coming through turn 11, now heading down into turn 12. Exiting John Sal, climbing on top of the hill into turn 14. With DRS wide open, he doesn't need to really go for it, but he wants to. Let's see if he can improve his time. He comes across the line, he goes up into 11th place with a 1:08.4. So Q1 is done with, and that's it, folks. No, it's not. 40 seconds to go. Nobody's coming out again. Shadow Moody down in 15th place. Does he want to go for it again? He doesn't need to, obviously. He's run out of fuel, so he can't go for it again. That's it then, Q1 has finished, and JJ Knox and Craigo have been knocked out of Q1. Craigo we didn't see because he got disqualified early parts of the qualifying session, and he will be starting down in dead last. I think we're waiting for this McLaren driver to retire, then we can proceed on to the next session. Beastie Boy quickest by 200s, almost 200s. Alright then, we move on to Q2. We can see some cars coming out of the pit lane now, and you can see some drivers have gone onto the medium compound tyres. Saying some, there's only 3 of them that's moving onto the mediums. I actually don't know what the best strategy is around here. I think it's soft to medium for sure, because that was a tyre wear. It's not really an issue around here, believe it or not. It is a short track, a 2.6 mile track, so I don't expect tyres to be quite an issue around here. Two Alphas getting close to each other, Godly Norm, and you can see both of them on different compound tyres, soft and medium. We'll go on board with the other Alpha driver because he's the closest one to the line, and it's on the soft compound tyres. You can see we've got more drivers exiting the pit lane. Then off he goes then to start his flying lap. Really crucial you get a good run out coming out of John South, so you don't lose a lot of time on the straight and lose it even more when you're about to start your flying lap. As we head down into turn 1, then break at the 50 metre board. He slightly misses the apex. Now it comes through turn 2, now through turn 3, flat out through turn 2. Get as close to the curb as you can to minimise the distance through there. DRS wide open on this short straight. You can see his teammate right behind us. Now we're heading down into turn 4. So almost a validation from the Alpha driver. He could have almost lost the car as well by being on the curb and losing traction. So you want to keep it pinned through turn 5 and 6. He's just lost a bit of time by doing that, but I think he wasn't confident enough to take it flat out through turn 5 and 6. Going through turn 9 then, rotating the car as much as you can, make sure you don't lose the rear end because of traction. 52.0 in the middle sector, the best we've seen is a 50.9 from Beastie Boy. Which is about 1.1 seconds slower than the best we've seen so far, as Euro comes through to the finish line to set a 1.8.7. His teammate right behind us is a 1.7.9. He's gone quicker than his teammate despite being on the medium compound tyres. Indian G's has gone second quickest with an 8.2. Tiller J then, we've got McLaren that's yet to cross the line. The Haas driver has got up into 4th place. Jack's got up into 5th place. I don't really think that's a representative lap time. And Killer's got up into 3rd place with a 1.8.6. So that lap time needs improving by Jack, otherwise he will probably get knocked out of Q3, in all honesty. He was outside the top 10 in early part of qualifying. Welcome to my personal YouTube channel, Cheesy Beano, and I don't know what GRL, Global Racing League I think it stands for. So I think Jack made a slight mistake on that lap time. Yeah, you can make whatever comments you want in this comment section. It doesn't really bother me what you put unless it's not like too offensive. Anyways, the Alpha driver comes across the line and he does not, I think that was a out lap anyway, to go for another lap. The Haas driver's going into the pits. What about Hassel? He's already done a lap. It's at 9.7. That probably needs improving because he's in 8th place and there's still drivers yet to set a time. He goes into the pits, but there's a Ferrari going past us. Is that Killer J? Killer J does improve, but not his position. He stays in 5th place. And he's done 2 laps on those soft compound tyres, so I think you preferably want to do 1 lap on those tyres so you can don't take too much out of them in the race coming up, because Q2 determines what tyres you started on unless you're outside the top 10. So I think it's best for him not to do too many laps on those soft compound tyres just in case he doesn't improve on the next runs or not. But yeah, I think it's best for him to slow down now. We're gonna go on board with Hazardika because he's on his out lap on his way to a flying lap. Crossing the line then as we head down into T1. Nice and decent on the exit, coming into turn 2, now turn 3. He's on the medium compound tyres, so don't expect him to go much quicker than the rest of them who are on the soft compound tyres. You could always abandon this lap and go on the softs, or do it later. They 16.8 that first sector. Right, we've got Hazardika then coming towards the finish line. This won't be as quick as I expect because he's on the mediums. He goes into 6th place and he's ahead of some soft runners, so good lap time from Hazard. But judging by the rest of the drivers, you might want to go to the soft tyres and just follow the bandwagon a bit because you don't want to get stuck in the DRS train full of soft runners. Killer J's done 3 laps on those softs. So his best option is to go on a brand new set of softs and do a lap time because you don't want to take too much out of those soft tyres heading onto the race. I hope he knows that he starts on those tyres in the race. He's going for it again, so I hope he comes out of the garage and goes for another lap on a brand new set of softs because it's not really ideal to do more than 1 lap, especially in Q2. Q1, yeah, fine. Q3, not really, because you want to do 1 lap to get the absolute best out of the tyres for the fastest lap. But Q2, depends if he's got more pace in the bag, if he wants to go on the mediums or not. Anyway, enough of him, let's go on board with somebody else. Shadow Moody, who's currently coming down into turn 1. Nice exit from him now into turn 2. Flat out through here. I only know 2 Scottish people in this. One Scottish person, and he has gone quickest with a 1:7.6. So Ginger's wife is watching, and she just witnessed him going quickest. Shadow Moody then down in 14th place. He needs to set a lap time because he's outside the he's outside the top 10. Sorry. Mate, I could do comms with you if you like. I'm free and I'm bored. Ooh. Come over then, Nova. The party's open. Party's open then, Nova, so come and join me, mate. Shadow Moody crossed the line. Can he get himself into the top 10? No, he can't. It's a 9.1 and he's 2 tenths slower than the medium one in 10th place, so Shadow Moody needs to find more confidence and pace if he wants to find himself in the top 10. Beastie Boy down in 14th place. He's on the medium compound tyres. Make sure you tell them or the com. Yeah, we'll do, mate. No problem. Mr. Nova, I'll invite you to the session. I'm feeling loose. Sipping on gin and juice. Where is he? Nova, 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 where are you? Hello Nova, can you tell Immortal that you commentated with me, then mute him please?
Immortal, are you there?
Nah, he won't kick you out of the party anyway. I sent you an invite to the session. So during that, Dicino has gone quickest with a 1.7.4, 2/10 quicker than second place. We've got Alfa Romeo right in front of us. It's a 51.4 for Beastie Boy. That's not a bad middle sector, being on the medium compound tyre, and he was on the softs when he set the best middle sector on a 50.9. So he will come to the finish line. It's a 7.8 and he's got to third place, top 10, top 3 on the medium compound tyre. So we've got another co-com as Killer J has came out of the pits, hopefully on a brand new set of tyres. No, he doesn't, mate. You need to put on a brand new set of tyres, otherwise you start on those tyres. Depends if the guys outside the top 10 will push you out, because they're most likely called the soft compound tyres, which one of them is, two of them is, to get the best lap time as they can. DCO, right, I'll try and remember that. Dicino. I'll try and remember that. Probably forget in the next few minutes. Sadistic King's out there, but not set a lap time yet, so go on board with him. He is on a lap time. That's not my mic interference, that's somebody else's. Beastie Boy if you're watching. Makes his way towards the end of the middle sector, and it's going to be a 51.5 on the soft compound tyres from JB. Exiting John Sal then, on the throttle we go. Take the tightest line as you possibly can through here without invalidating it across the pit lane entry, which Felipe Massa got a penalty for that in 2014. He goes up into 5th place ahead of Rachel, who's 2 thousandths slower. He's on his out lap. For Killer J's sake, I hope he gets knocked out, because I don't want him to start on those old soft compound tyres. He probably needs to be told that he's going to start on those tyres unless others won't improve. Others will improve. If he doesn't improve, he's 3/10 down, but he needs to go on a brand new set of soft tyres.
Right, well I'm in now, so we're all sorted.
Blocks are outside the top 10. He's invalidated his lap time, but there's 2 minutes of this session to go, so if he's got a
Killer J.
Killer J.
Yeah, he's on a lap.
Where is he? What position is he in? I can't really see.
9 at the minute.
Oh. Killer J on those 5 lap soft tyres. He should be coming to the pits, because if he makes it through to Q3, that's the tyres he started on. And you don't want to start 5 lap old tyres, including the formation lap.
Yeah.
Not ideal for his race in 9th place.
The other Haas has messed up a little bit as well. So I think it'll be a while until, well, not people are gonna have to start getting out of the pits now if they want to set in a brand new lap. But
Jack.
Some people not safe. Sorry, I'll let you talk.
No problem, mate, it's okay. Jack, he's on his out lap. He's only doing 1 lap, and that's at 11.3. I know he can do better than that. But in Q1, he was outside the top 10, so hopefully he's got more pace.
At the minute, we've got the Haas, both the Haases and the McLarens, and also a Ferrari, all out in the elimination zone for Q3. So it's up to Jack and Haas, to get to the top 10 and see if they can possibly improve on their laps and do something, because they all want to get into Q3. Everyone always wants to get into Q3, so if Jack could get into the top 10.
Oh, we spawned on top of the hill.
Oh, he spun actually. Oh, resets track.
Jack, mate, come on. I know you could do better than this, mate. So he will continue then to set his second lap time. He started his second lap time. He should have came out of the pits earlier instead of leaving it to the very last minute. This is his last chance to get inside into Q3. He's invalidated.
Knew he would. I just knew he would. What about the other Haas then? He's not improving at the minute, though. He's just under a 10th down in his lap.
You noticed he switched over to the medium compound tyres. Well, he's still on the medium compound, so he might be. I might have a bit of a struggle to get inside the top 10 on those tyres.
Seeing as though he's 3/10 down on his teammates, who's on the softs currently, who's also on an out lap. So maybe his teammate could get into the top 10 here.
In the middle sector, he's improved by 4/10, but he needs to find 2 more tenths if he wants to get inside the top 10. Here he comes then. He comes across the line and he will go up into 9th place on the mediums.
Hold on. Well, look at Hazard though. He's improved by 10th already.
He should be improving by more because he's on the soft compound tyres. He did his best lap on the mediums.
He's currently sat in the oh my gosh, 6 tenths quicker. So currently he's sat in like P5 or something now. Could possibly be in P4. I'll have to have a look as he's about to come to the line now. What's this lap time going to be from Hazard? And it's going to be a 1:07.6 and it's P3.
Safely through then.
Yeah, safely through as Killer J has now been eliminated. And the Haas of Sikaz is just on the driver at risk.
He's a driver at risk because the only driver that can knock him out is his teammate. His teammate's coming towards the end of the set. He's improved by 5 tenths.
Yeah, so I think his teammate will be knocked out. Sikaz will be knocked out then. So here comes an Xbox then. That's
his teammate in front of him. It doesn't block him, thankfully.
See what lap time this is going to be then. Goes, oh, just ahead. So yeah, he's knocked out his teammate there and got into the top 10.
Thankfully he didn't block him on that lap.
Yeah, so now we just need...
It was an AI car anyway because he's got a finish line symbol next to his name, so it wasn't him, it was his AI in the way.
Yeah.
Decino, quickest with a 1:7.4. That's not the best. That's not the best time we've seen because Beastie Boy did a 6.9, I think. So he's done the best lap time so far in Q1. So he hopes to continue that momentum into Q3. He is going to start on the medium compound tyres. The drivers that are going to start at the mediums is Indian Jesus, Beastie Boy, Godly Numb, and the Alfa Romeo. It could have been Sikas, but he got knocked out by his teammate. And Killer J has been knocked out, and he's been doing 6 laps on those softs. I think it was best for him to get knocked out, otherwise he'd be starting on old soft compound tyres and he'd be vulnerable in the race, not getting the best starts with old tyres.
What will happen in Q3? Who will be able to take pole position for the finale?
Well, I think my money's on Beastie Boy. He's got some good pace on his hands. I think he's going to be Beastie Boy. Indian Jesus is 2nd place, and 3rd, I don't know. Probably Ginger.
He's only 4 tenths down on those mediums. I think, yeah, Beastie Boys will have a good chance of getting pole tonight. What about Indian Jesus? Oh, Jesus.
He'll be close, for sure.
Yeah. Alright, I'm just going to quickly go to the toilet.
So the two Ferraris, two McLarens have been knocked out of Q3. A Haas driver has been knocked out. He got knocked out by his own teammate. You think Ginge will get a podium in at the very least? Yeah, I think he will. To be honest with you, he was in 2nd place, so he might get the top 3. So I'm thinking Beastie Boy. Who else is going to take pole position? I think Indian Jesus and Beastie Boy are the main competitors that could take pole. So we've got some cars coming out of the pit lane, then one from the Renault crew and one from the Mercedes crew. Yeah, AlphaTauri comes out of the pits as well, so I think they should get 2 runs in Q3, unless they back out of on one of their runs and go for another one. But it looks like pole might be belonging to Beastie Boy or Indian Jesus, or anyone can pull out the bag at the very last minute. And this is it for the drivers then. Track position is absolutely key around here, especially around here in Brazil, because it's very hard to overtake. You get stuck in a lot of DRS trains and there's nothing you can do about it. So pole position is vital for those drivers for tomorrow's race. Beastie Boys in the pits, so is Sadistic King. So we've got 8 out of 10 drivers on the track, but we've got another driver coming out of the track, and I think that's Beastie Boy, the racing point. So Jamie wanted the last one to go out on the track. We've got on board with the Renault driver of Decino. no, Hazardika, because he's the closest one to the line. I always do this, go to the closest one to the line. Should activate his EOS roundabout now, which he does. Makes his way to the line as he's going to start his first flying lap then, so he needs a decent run into turn 1. Brake before the 50 metre board, take a lot of apex into turn 1, carry the speed and momentum into turn 2, use a lot of curb there. Take the tightest line through turn 3, flat out through there, DRS is wide open. We head down into turn 4, brake I think after the 100 metre board. Yep, use a lot of curb on the entry, you want to take more speed than that through turn 4. Take the tightest line through turn 5. Drop it two gears into turn 5 and 6. We're on board with Hazardika because he was the first man to cross the line to start a lap time. Jamie's still in the pits, so I wonder will he do 1 lap time. Still got plenty of time to come out of the pits now to do 2, but Hazardika then not really taking the best line through there. A lot of corrections going on.
Can't see actually.
A 51.6 in the middle sector. The best I've seen is a 50.9 in the middle sector. So he's what, 7/10 down from what I've seen.
That's a Haas going slow. I think he's just getting out of the way.
He crossed the line. He goes quickest with an 8.1. But the next guy to cross the line is Indian Jesus. He comes across the line to take pole by 7.1, and he's 1 second quicker than Hazardika. So he won't be impressed with that as Godly Numb goes into second place ahead of Ginger. Euro goes across the line, he goes up into 4th place behind Ginge. He's 3/10 slower than Ginge, so Ginge is in the top. So Decido has got into 4th place in the Renault, so he's out-qualified his teammates so far.
Let's have a look at Beastie Boys then. What's he going to do across the line as he opens up the DRS now? What's this going to be from Beastie Boys as he comes across the line, and it's a 107.2, so no. Just behind Indian Jesus.
What about blocks and Av? You talked about the Haas driver going slow, didn't you? He's comes across the line to set a 30.7, but that's invalidated it, so that doesn't count as we go down to turn 1 for him then. Jamie's still in the pit, so I wonder what he's doing. Is he waiting for the very last moment? I wonder. He's still got plenty of time to come out to do 2 runs, but doesn't want to wait too long. I think if he wants to do 2, the latest he can go out is about 6:30 or something like that.
Stuck with Indian Jesus.
So, Indian Jesus is currently on pole, ahead of Beastie Boy, separated by 3/10 between Godly Numb and Beastie Boy. So those guys behind need to find more pace. Ginge 1/10 slower than Godly Numb. Decino only a few hundred slower than Ginge. Euro 3/10 slower. Bloxham coming through the middle sector, so 51.2. I think that's a decent middle sector from him in the Haas. So he climbs his way out of Jun Sao and now head towards turn 14. Flat out through there, down the hill, DRS wide open, take the shortest distance. He crosses the line and he goes into 6th place with a 7.7 ahead of Euro.
Rise to the grass there actually, so we've just got Jamie in the pits then. And then that'll be all the drivers completing their laps, but we've still got 7 minutes remaining of this session. So yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe the pole sitter will change.
But interestingly, the Mercedes driver has came out very early, expecting he might do 3 runs then, might have saved enough set of tyres because he didn't really go out a lot in Q1, so I think he might have saved the odd set in Q1. Whereas most of the drivers used quite a lot of tyres. Well, I think they stayed on the same tyre but did quite a few laps. You can see he's on a brand new set of soft tyres. So he came out very early to do that lap because track evolution does really help because the track temperature starts to go down, starts to evolve and gets even better. But he came out very early to do that. I wonder, has he got 3 sets of softs he could use? Instead of doing 2 runs, he might do 3. He has the track almost to himself. We've got some more cars coming out of the pit lane. We've got Beastie Boy coming out, we've got Decino coming out, we've got Hazardika and Raphael coming out. Interesting then, because I thought they'd go out later than that. But anyways, on board with Indian Jesus, the current pole man, comes across the line to start his second flying lap as we head down into turn 1, breaking the 50-meter mark. Use a lot of curve on the inside. Same with turn 2. Use that curve on the outside and take the
stick to the left.
Stick to the left. Powering down the straight as a 16.5 is improved by 8/100ths of a second in that first sector. Went wide, but that's good enough because if he went any wider than that, he would have invalidated it. Takes it down 3 gears, interestingly. I believe he was in 8th gear, wasn't he? Or was he revving out of 7th? I can't exactly remember. You want to take it preferably to 6th gear instead of 5th gear. I think it's a bit too much engine braking in turn 5, gear 5.
What's this sector 2 time going to be then?
2/10 up.
2/10 quicker. Sector 2.
I did see Beastie Boy on his outlap, but he's still in the pits. He can't have gone around that quick, could he?
Yeah, I could have sworn.
He must have got in the pits as we weren't noticing, but he comes across the line.
6-9. Wow.
Wow. Beastie Boy needs to improve by 3 or 4 tenths to make up that deficit to Indian Jesus. Ginge on a lap now, coming through turn 5. I think that's turn. Is that a turn or not turnover?
Sorry, what did you say?
Never mind. Coming through turn 7. I think Renault has spun, and he has spun. He's just reset the track. Has a decal coming out of John Sal. As Raphael is going to come across the line to set. Let's see what time he sets. He comes across the line to set a 107.7. He goes up into 6th place ahead of Bloxham in the Haas.
Here comes his teammate then. So here comes his teammate.
Sinner's got 3rd place with a 7.4. Sorry to interrupt, but his teammate, as you said, he's backed out of it and he goes off into the pits.
I thought it was going to go a lot quicker there, but Raphael's actually going on a quicker lap currently. He's gone half a tenth quicker in sector 1. But I think he's probably going to have to back out of that because he's just got no ERS whatsoever.
He might.
Maybe he's going to.
He could save it in the middle sector because he's got a lot of braking zones coming up, but he will waste it. Who is other commentator? The other commentator is our own SHR Nova.
No.
He's improved slightly in the middle sector as Raphael. We've got an Alpha that's.
I think he's going to be closer to his teammate though. Just a small amount closer. But
You might run out of pole. A late decision to go in the pits there. The Alpha has invalidated it in turn 3. Hazardika's coming out of the pits. Sadistic Kings finally came out of the pits to do his one and only run, depending on how much fuel he's got in the car. Beastie Boy then coming through turn 1, now into turn 2. Did see a bit of movement coming towards the back of turn 1. Takes the tightest line through there, extremely tight. And he's hoping for a slipstream.
Very tight as there's traffic ahead, but luckily the Haas does get out the way of Beastie Boys there. He's looking to improve as the Renault also gets out of the way. And Indian Jesus has just retired now, so he's confident with pole at the minute, but have to have a look at Godley and Beastie at the minute. As,
so
they're both on laps, I believe. Oh no, Godley just did a lap. And
so it was 2 runs then instead of 3. I thought he were going to do 3 because I thought he had enough soft tyres to go with it, but clearly not. So Beastie Boy then comes to middle sector. 50.7.
He's actually gone purple in sector 2.
But he needs to find more time.
Sector 3 now.
He needs to find a bit more time. He might have a distant tow to the car ahead of him. He comes across the line. It's a 7.0. He hasn't done it. He's missed out by a few tenths. And he stays in 2nd place. Only just beat him. No, he's down in 3rd place. He's behind Godly Num by 7 thousandths.
It's Godly on the lap though.
Nope, he's backed out of it.
He's probably going to go for a lap, you know, on the next lap. So maybe he could possibly overtake Indian Jesus.
Sadistic King or get distracted by the Alfa Romeo. He's in the middle sector with a 151.
Oh, actually, Jamie goes purple in sector 2.
That's not really purple because it's just a glitch. He's a bit slower compared to the rest in sector 2. Sadistic King then, he will come across the line. Let's see where he can go. He will go up into 8th place. So Jamie then on the 4th row of the grid, and Euro does not improve, but Beastie Boy's right behind Euro. I wonder what that is. Is that wanting slipstream for the next lap? or is he on a lap himself?
I think he's
Yeah,
He's going for it again. This time he does get ahead.
Ginge improves in the first sector by a tenth. Beastie Boy with a 7.0, sorry, he's just beating Godly Numb. That slipstream did help him, but a Renault has completely gone off in the distance, and that is Hazardika. He's retired from the session. You can see Ginger sliding around in those corners. Number 94, my number's 93.
Yeah.
Middle sector 51.0, he's improved by a 10. He needs to find a bit more time in that last sector to get ahead of Dicino. Dicino with a 7.4, I believe he's on a lap. Yes, he is, in that second middle sector. And Ginge will come across the line. Can he get ahead of Dicino? He comes across the line. He doesn't, but he improves his time.
Of course, but look at the Renault in P4. That's his name.
Dicino.
Sorry. Dicino. He's actually, he's backed out of it, but he was improving by almost a tenth there. So that's quite unfortunate.
So your pole sitter is Indian Jesus with a 6.9. He's a few hundreds quicker than Beastie Boy in second place. Godly Nub in third place with a 7.0. Nothing in it between those two down in second and third. 4 tenths further back is the driver you're on board with now as he heads off into the pits. It's Dicino. We believe that he went quicker on his lap but couldn't quite string it together to go quicker. This is Ginge in 5th place ahead of Raphael. So both AlphaTauri sharing 5th and 6th. Bloxham in 7th place with a Sadistic King in 8th. Hazardika in 9th place ahead of the Alfa Romeo, who rounds off the top 10. So that's qualifying done, and we move off into the race. Not so bad for Beastie Boy, but what Beastie Boy needs to do, or needs to have, sorry, is get a good start off the line and try and get him into turn 1, Indian Jesus. That's what Sebastian Vettel did to Valtteri Bottas back in 2017. It's what Rosberg did to Vettel in 2013.
This is going to be a very interesting race then between Indian Jesus and Beastie Boys. Who will be able to take the crown today?
Who will take the crown today? Who do you think, Nova?
It's a hard decision because they're both very quick and they're both very competitive. I think there's going to be a lot of side-by-side action with both of them, so it depends on the strategy, to be honest.
I think it's an easy soft medium, but if the safety car comes out, then it could all change things around. Nova.
Yeah, it could actually.
Oh.
Actually, Raphael.
I ain't done comms with you for a long time now.
Yeah, no, I think no, you haven't. I think it's been like a month or two. So we did it back in Hungary.
We did it back in 2019 game, didn't we?
No.
No,
we did it like a month or two ago.
I don't remember commentating with you in the Hungary comms. Yeah. What league? Don't say what league it was, but who was the drivers in that league?
I can't remember.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I can't remember.
I don't remember doing it in the 2020 game, but I remember doing it in the 2019 game for sure.
I'll have to find it.
I don't remember doing comms with you in the 2020 game, mate. I actually don't.
My thing's been glitched and now apparently I'm being called when I'm not. I'll have to find it. I'm just going to search for it real quick.
Indian Jesus then takes pole by over half a tenth ahead of Beastie Boy. The German driver on pole. Godly Numb in 3rd place. He's a few hundreds behind Beastie Boy. Dicino in 4th place. Good lap time from him. He's a 10th up on Ginger in 5th place. Raphael, the Polish driver, in 6th place ahead of the American in the Haas. Sadistic King in 8th place ahead of Hazardiko, and the Alfa Romeo rounds off the top 10 with a 7.9. Only a few hundreds away from Hazardiko, who says he's angry with his lap time, so he had more in him than 9th place.
Can't find it. I think you might have deleted it or something.
I never delete commentary video.
Or it's been copyright striked, I don't know. Because I definitely did do it with you. Because I do remember doing it. We were at Hungary. Or maybe it was that one actually. No, that's a different one. It was at home. Yeah, can't find it. That's it now. Yeah.
Hopefully the formation lap is on, because last time it wasn't on. I meant in the other league.
Yeah.
I got so caught out by it because I didn't have enough time to say anything or react. Short run down into turn 1 then, so I don't think the slipstream is much use around here. Would be in the likes of Mexico and all that, but here only a few meters down into turn 1.
This is going to be interesting.
All he needs to do is get a good start off the line. Indian Jesus.
Not on. Formation lap's not on.
Oh dear. Right then, so it's lights out, away we go then. Let's see who gets a better start. They're both on the medium compound tyres then. Will Beastie Boy go down the inside? No, he's too far back. There's a bit too wide. Going down into turn 1.
Goes really wide actually.
I see an AlphaTauri off the track then. He's gone really wide.
On a Renault.
Hazard Dika has gone off into turn 1, as you can see on the full map. So he rejoins out in last place, heading down into turn 4. We've got a McLaren going down the inside of a driver, and that McLaren stays behind him. I don't think he's overtaken him. We've got the Haas driver on the hard compound tyres as JJ gets squeezed out by Ginge. As Jack goes very wide, that's allowed Ginge to gain another position, and Jack's absolutely struggling on this first opening lap. But Godly does been overtaken as Beastie Boy.
I don't know what he's done there.
Oh, bit of contact between the two.
Don't know what he did there. I think he either went wide or just let them all pass.
Patience, Beastie Boy patience, and Beastie Boy stays ahead of Bloxham then. So I think on those medium compound tyres, a bit of full wind damage being spewed onto the track, distributed onto the track. I think that was an Alfa Romeo who lost part of his front wing. He might hit the back of Killer J, but it doesn't come into the pits. No, it was the McLaren driver. As you can see, Sadistic King has been overtaken, or has got past Godly, and he goes up into 3rd place. Indian Jesus then has a clear lead of 6/10 ahead of Decino. Sadistic King on the soft compound tyres trying to defend from the Alpha. He was in the slipstream, and he stays behind him because he got no overspeed to try and overtake him. And the Haas driver goes down the inside of the McLaren. The two are going wheel to wheel with each other. One's on the hards, but he gets past him, the driver on the hards. You expect hassle. No, he's got full wind damage anyway, so it doesn't really matter now.
Look at Ginger then, he's also trying to get involved in the action here. There's quite a big train as the Red Bull does actually go a little bit wide there. But Krako's still fighting for this battle, and they're all very close actually. Gingy's right at the rear of I Hassel now, so it looks like he's going to go for a move, but no, he's just backed out of it there. Will he be able to make it into onto the main straight then? He has got the ERS, he's going to go to the inside. He's got a move done.
Ginge has got past Hassel of the McLaren driver. There's a battle going on for 4th place between Godly Numb, Raphael and Beastie Boy down in 4th, 5th and 6th. Sadistic King's ahead of us, but Raphael gets a decent exit coming out of turn 2. Godly Numb in the DRS range of Sadistic King. Raphael doesn't outbrake him into turn 4, and the Alpha stays ahead but goes off the track. Beastie Boy trying to find an opportunity, but smartly backs out of it because he didn't want to take him or collect him.
Ooh, that was very close to being in contact between Raphael and Beastie Boys there, so they were getting very close to each other. I think he just tapped the rear, to be fair.
Tell you what though, sorry, were you going to say something else?
No.
Indian Jesus is actually doing a good job. He's got a good gap over Jamie, 2.1 seconds, and he's on a medium compound tyres. You expect Decino to be quicker at this stage on these soft compound tyres. He needs to get past Indian Jesus to make his strategy work.
He is actually closing, and DRS is enabled now, so it looks like he's going to go for a move. He's going to go to the outside.
Raphael pulls out to go alongside Godly Numb. Decino goes around the outside, gets the inside line for turn 2. Has he got ahead? Yes he has, but does Indian Jesus get a better exit? No, further behind. Godly Numb has stayed ahead of Raphael.
Indian Jesus still going for the move. He's going to try it down the inside, and I think he's going to get 1st place again. Side by side into the corner, a bit of contact actually. But yeah, Indian Jesus gets back up into the lead.
Raphael stays ahead of Godly Numb after being under pressure from him, or maybe the other way around, I can't remember, but Indian Jesus stays ahead of Decino. Good job, good move from Indian Jesus there.
Yeah, that was a very close battling between the two.
Probably needs to be a bit more aggressive, does Decino, to try and get the move done and stay ahead and get out of his slipstream and pull away, because he's on soft and medium, and Indian Jesus, we know, well, as Raphael dips a wheel in the grass there, we know that he'll go longer in the stint and go onto the soft compound tyres towards the end of the race, so Decino needs to get a move on and get ahead of him as quick as possibly can. Same with Raphael, needs to pull away on those soft compound tyres because Godly Numb is on the mediums, and Beastie Boy's also on the mediums too. He's in the slipstream, but he hasn't got the ERS as we go down into turn 1. Can't make a move too far back is Beastie Boy. What about Craigo? He's overtaken the Hash driver. He goes down the inside into turn 1. He's on the soft compound tyres, so this should be easy because the guy behind him is on the hard compound tyres, and Decino doesn't get the job done this time, so he needs to find a different way to get past him. Beastie Boy lurking in the background behind Godly Numb, hasn't got past him. Both got the curb, but thankfully didn't make a mistake as Craigo stays ahead of the Hash driver who was in his DRS. Down the inside goes the Renault of Hazardico, gets past JJ Knots. He's on the soft compound tyres with better grip and better traction coming out of turn 4. He gets ahead of JJ Knots who's on the medium compound tyres. He can go set off after the Hash driver who's on the hard. Should be a little bit easier compared to JJ Knots because he's on the harder compound tyres compared to the mediums. Alright then, so we've got a big DRS trade from Raphael, Godly Numb, Beastie Boy and the other Hash driver.
Still going. Raphael's actually pulled quite far away from Godly now, but as we see Beastie Boys coming on the back straight, they've both got DRS. So I don't think he's going to be able to make a move as we see Killer J getting past the Alfa Romeo.
Quite easy. I guess that was overspeed.
So Beastie Boys gets a better exit. Sorry, were you going to say something, Jamie?
Yes. Well, Ginger has got past Euro, and he moves up into 9th place. But I was going to say before that was Beastie Boy needs to save ERS. He can't afford to waste it all. Look at that. He needs to stop using it. He needs to deploy it tactically rather than when he wants to, because deploying it when he wants to, he doesn't have enough power to try and overtake Godly Numb down the straight. He has the potential to get past him, but he doesn't because he doesn't have any ERS, so he can't. So he needs to start saving ERS and doesn't need to use it unnecessarily to make his strategy work, because if he uses it all the time, he's not going to get past. If he saves it and conserves it, then he has a chance, but he's wasted quite a lot of it.
Wouldn't be surprised if he starts even more now.
Back to the battle for first place between Decino and Indian Jesus. We can see he has got no ERS, has Indian Jesus.
Got DRS, but yeah, as you said about earlier with Beastie Boys about his ERS, and he's not said at all. He had 0 ERS down the whole straight. So that's actually compromised him from getting P5.
Decino
happen again.
Decino does not make a move, but look at Beastie Boy all over.
He's going for a move.
It goes down the inside, but he has the outside line. He goes off the track.
Alpha wide. And now we see Killer J getting involved in.
What's happened there then?
That was MX Bloxham getting through and passing the Alfa Romeo too.
You can see him sliding all over the place, his Beastie Boy, so just needs to be a bit patient.
On the throttle. He's got wing damage. What was that about? The Alpha's now got wing damage. That was very silly.
I only saw it from Beastie Boy's point of view, so I didn't get to see what happened. But I did see him losing a bit of a wing.
That was a very silly dive bomb from the
It's only lap 7, mate. You need to be patient, and you're on the mediums as well, so you just need to play the long game.
That was absolutely pointless.
So the Alpha driver might have to come into the pits because he won't have no downforce in the most crucial parts of the track, especially that middle sector. Just come into the pits? No, he doesn't. So he's going to lose a lot of time then, I'm afraid, son.
Look at these two then. If you see, was that? It's a little glitch on this one.
I'm still surprised. I'm still surprised Decino hasn't got past Indian Jesus because he's 5/10 behind. He's on a one-stop strategy, so is Indian Jesus. He's on a different strategy though. Alternative strategies. Killer J, he's making a move on Ginge, but he goes deep into the corner, allowing Ginge to get back past him. so he remained in 8th place. I think he was actually overtaking, not defending. So I think Ginge was alongside him before turn 4, and he's actually got past him. And Killer J went wide trying to get that position back.
2 minutes.
I will read your comment out right now. Go back to the battle for 2nd place. So I'm surprised he's not got past him, because he's on the better tyres at this moment, and if he stays behind him, his tyres going to get even worse. Good luck, Ginge. Shame what happened to him. He went off down at turn 1. He went wide. I don't know if he got pushed off or not, because I didn't see it. So he got pushed off, or he made a mistake on his own down at turn 1. He went deep and lost a lot of positions. But he's made his way back to 3rd place. No, not 3rd place. That's his teammate. Made his way back to 8th place. If I was Decino, I would save EOS and I will get past him when I have the choice, because you can't afford to stay behind him, especially on the soft compound tyres. You need to get past him to make your strategy work. You know he's going to go onto the soft compound tyres at the end. You know he's going to be much faster towards the end of the race. You need to get past him now and make up that deficit now. You need to make up a gap when you get past him, and hopefully that'll be enough to try and stop him charging his way on the soft compound tyres. So you need to get past him and save EOS tactically to try and make your strategy work, otherwise it's just not going to happen, is it? So someone hit Ginge sitting beside him right now. Make sure you keep him cool and support him. Yeah, so I got told that somebody hit Ginge before turn 1. His wife told me that.
Yeah, I did actually see Ginger go wide in the in turn 1 there. So yeah, he did go very wide and lost quite a few positions there. So that's actually really compromising in this race now. But he's back up to P1.
Raphael was so close to turn 2 behind Statistic King, but because he didn't have enough performance down the straight to use the electronic energy, he'd have no chance to get past Statistic King, because he saved EOS compared to Raphael. Raphael doesn't need to use it in the corner. He needs to start saving it now. That's what he needs to be thinking about, saving EOS. That's what makes you a good driver, because if you deploy it tactically and in the right time, it will pay off for you. But because you use it all the time, it doesn't pay off for you. You stay behind him, as the Hash driver has left the session. Not only that, Beastie Boy is right behind us too, so that could be the reason why he's draining a lot of EOS, because not only he's attacking, but he's defending. Raphael then, you can see Beastie Boy closing and closing and closing with more EOS, but he's going to have DOS as he goes off into the pits, does Raphael. So that's one less driver to worry about for Beastie Boy. You can see Jamie in front of us. I don't believe the soft tyres are dead just yet. They've still got enough life in them. I know the softs can go quite a distance around here, because it's not too punishing for the tyres. But look at Beastie Boy then. He hasn't got any EOS, but he's got more overspeed. He goes down the inside, but will Jamie outbrake himself to go around the outside? No, he doesn't. Beastie Boy takes the position nice and cleanly ahead in 3rd place.
Yeah, that was a good move. As we can see, Decino now closing up once again to Indian Jesus, as he's only got 3/10 to him. So I think he's used a bit more overtake, as they've actually got similar ERS. So none of them have been saving, really. So they're going to come on the back straight now, and Decino might be able to make a move on Indian Jesus for the P1 once again. About 5/10 behind now, as we see Raphael getting past the Haas.
Raphael has gone on a brand new set of soft compound tyres, so he's doing a 2-stop, soft, medium, which is not ideal, but we'll see what happens towards the end.
Still not close enough.
Hopefully the Hash driver gets back in the car as soon as he can, but still not close enough to make a move on Indian Jesus. So as long as Indian Jesus keeps doing this, he'll be safe. Battle for 9th place between Craigo and the Alfa Romeo driver. Beastie Boy has a 3-second time penalty. Craigo, will he make a move? Nope, too far back to make a move. It almost hits the back of him when he does. He hits the back of him, but not enough to cause any damage. Probably outbroke himself there, but thankfully no contact was made, but not a bit heavy enough to.
Oh, actually, Indian Jesus lost the rear there. So now you look at Decino, who's only like 2/10 down.
Come on, Decino, this is your big chance to get past him.
Yeah, so that's actually really Hamilton as he's got into the lobby and now it's actually compromising. But as we see, Sinner now, he's going side by side and he's taken the lead, but will he be able to keep it into turn 1? It looks like he's got it secured for now, and yeah, he's got it fully secured now.
Oh, no,
but
I don't think he has because... but he
actually went very wide there, did Indian Jesus.
Yeah.
He's still going to try and come back. I don't think he'll be able to make the move into further.
If he didn't make that mistake into turn 2, I dare say he would have got past him, but Decino then, what he needs to do now is pull out a gap because, you know, he's on the soft compound tyres. They might be wearing out. We've got a few drivers in the pits. He might have spent too long behind Indian Jesus, but at least he's got it past him. And now start pulling a gap. It doesn't look like he's pulling a gap because Indian Jesus right up his rear still, so tells me he's got more grip. And the slipstream is quite powerful around here too. So the drivers that pitted, Ginge has rejoined down in 12th place. He's rejoined behind the Haas driver, and Killer J as well. He's rejoined ahead of him.
Yeah, Casino has pitted now, as I did predict. So his tyres are quite old, so he'll most likely be going on to
mediums. Nope, mediums will definitely make it to the end. As we've got a yellow flag down at somewhere, down at sector 2, and who is that? I think that was JJ Knots because he's going a bit slow. Decino's on the hard. We've got a spinner. That's Hazardika down at Judd South. That won't cause a safety car because it's not big enough to cause a safety car. He just needs to rejoin. Well, he's on an old set of softs, so he might have got caught out by the lack of grip he was having on those soft compound tyres. So then, lap 14 out of lap 36 then, so we had a few pit stops. Sadistic King will make a pit stop soon because he doesn't want to spend too long on those soft compound tyres because he's not really not racing the guys ahead, and he can't race the guys ahead because they're on the medium compound tyres. Those tyres be much better than his at this stage of the race, so I think he might come to the pits and protect any undercut from anybody. Decino rejoins in 5th place. He's got a bit of clean air between himself and Godlingham on the hard compound tyres.
So is Jamie.
That's an interesting strategy from Beastie Boy because I think that's a little bit too early on those medium tyres coming to the pit, so I wonder, does he want to change his strategy up to try and beat Indian Jesus? Interesting then. Those hards will definitely make it to the end. They're avoiding the medium comp. Well, he had to go on the hards anyway, not on the softs because that'll be a 2-stop.
Maybe the safety car could absolutely ruin Beastie Boys. Who knows? Well, he probably will put on for softs if that does happen, or mediums.
I'll tell you what, Nova, if a safety car did come out, it would definitely benefit Raphael because he's on a 2-stop anyway, and he needs to go on to a mediums or hards because he's done soft so far, so a safety car would definitely do him good, and not lose too much time from the inevitable pit stop he's going to have to do. I don't think the 2-stop is the right decision around here. It's definitely the 1-stop as Ginge has got past the Haas driver who's on the hard compound tyres. That was probably an easy move from him. 13 laps younger is the tyre difference between those two, and Ginge doesn't want to get stuck behind him because he's not fighting him. Next on the road is JJ Knots, who's on medium compound tyres, the ones he started on in the race.
He's going to have to pay us some. Sorry, what did you say?
Craigo is still out there on the tyres he started on. I remember Craigo getting knocked out in Q1 because he was disqualified. So he went from last to 4th on those soft tyres. So he didn't go on the medium tyres like I thought he would, but he went on the softs instead. So he needs to pick because those soft tyres will wear about Hazardika. That's made a mistake again.
They got a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits out of turn 2 actually. That might possibly compromise at the end of the race. Depends on what position is at the end.
See those tyres, medium tyres graining just a bit, so it looks like the mediums will come to an end as well. on Indian Jesus' medium on the Mercedes tyres. Mercedes tyres, medium tyres on the Mercedes.
Indian Jesus would put this lap out.
Look at the gap difference between Godly Numb and Indian Jesus. 16.15 seconds. Both on the same strategy, but look at the gap difference. Where did Godly Numb start as Deco's retired from the pits? In the pits, no safety car will be deployed.
Yeah, he's just given up on. He's been last for pretty much the rest of that race, so he's having no fun. As you see, Greg on now in the pits on those 16 lap old softs. So he's probably going to go on to hards. No, he's going on to mediums.
I think the mediums can go to the end on those on the end of this race.
He probably can do this. He's already doing 19 laps.
Raphael on the soft. What's you gonna say, mate?
Sorry, no, it's fine. I was just saying that he's going to do 19 laps.
Yeah, car was horrible, says Harry Deacon.
This is a yellow flag, and that's actually. Oh no, it's just Zayan. That's just Rico Zayan.
JJ Knotts is under pressure because Ginge has caught up to him quite quickly, and behind him is the Haas driver who's on hard tyres, the ones he started on. So he's going to get overwhelmed by them soon. Those medium tyres will be coming to an end soon on JJ's car. How long will it take for Ginge to pass him? In fact, he's going off into the pit, so he's got nothing to worry about. What I would do is turn that EOS off so he doesn't use it all.
That's exactly what he's doing.
That yellow flag again, is that Jack DNF? Probably was, because that's where the yellow flags were. Dicino then, on the hard compound tyres, trying to do the undercut on Indian Jesus, avoiding the medium tyres, because I think Indian Jesus, well, I don't know actually, can Indian Jesus go long enough to go onto the soft compound tyres? Dicino needs to get past this Alpha driver as quick as he can. You can also see he's underfueled the car as well to make it light as he can. Man, he's too far back to make a move on the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah. I think Killer J actually just lost the rear a little bit there when it went wide. So it's about 5 tenths from Euro to Killer J now. And he's actually tapped the grass there. So that's compromising a little bit more. And it's 3 tenths now. And yeah, he looks like he's going to go for the move, and I think he's going to go to the inside, and that's just a simple move for Euro as he gets himself up into P10 to get the 1 point.
Killer J tries to fight back around the outside, but he couldn't do it because Euro had the position and cut him off, so he stays in 10th place. Dicino is right behind as Indian Jesus is in the pits on lap 20, so let's see what tyres he will go to, but we've got a spinner. Medium.
Oh. He's gone on to softs.
He has lost his front wing, and I don't think that'll cause a safety car. He's gone into the ditch there. Beastie Boy has set the fastest lap of the race. Where will Indian Jesus rejoin? It's side by side action between the two. He comes out of the pits now. Has he got ahead of him? Dicino is right alongside him, but Indian Jesus stays in first place, and he will be absolutely frustrated. He will be absolutely frustrated with that one. Sorry, Nova. So I think that's it for him, because it's on the hard compound tyres, and Indian Jesus on a brand new set of softs. There's nothing he can do. You can't outpace him on two softest tyres.
9 tenths now, so I don't think he's got much chance now on Indian Jesus, but possibly near the end to the race, because those soft...
Oh, down the inside goes Godley on Ginge. I don't think... I don't know.
That a dive.
Yeah, it was a dive bomb, but good sportsmanship. Yeah, good sportsmanship. Yeah, that was a big dive bomb. If that was me, I wouldn't have expected it. Yeah, so he let him go to avoid a penalty. As now he's about to overtake him again. Around the outside he goes, and yeah, easy move from Gordon. And he goes up into sixth place. Ginger really can't fight back because he's on the hard compound tyres. Euro is right behind the Haas driver, or Sikas. He's on the soft tyres compared to his 20 lap old hard, so it should be easier for him. Look at the gap Indian Jesus has built on Decino. 3.2 seconds is the gap between the two. That's built in one lap.
It's very close. Oh, Gera, sorry, you were on about Gera and Kaz earlier. It's still very close to each other, about 2 tenths seconds. Indian Jesus sets the fastest lap and won the way 4. And that's making an extra point from now unless someone else can possibly beat that lap time. Euro still 3 tenths to Sakaz, so it's actually not been able to catch up to Sakaz, who's on those 20 lap old hards. So probably the ERS will, ERS and DRS will have him, but no, it's actually not. He's actually a lot slower. I suspect him to pass. Still going for the move now, as there's about 4 tenths to it now, and I think it's caught just a little bit more, but I don't think he's going to be able to get it into this corner here, as yeah, he's not close enough. We have to wait for a few more laps. There we are.
Raphael on 10 lap old soft tyres, and I expect him to come into the pit soon because he's definitely on the 2-stop strategy, so I don't want to stay on those tyres for too long. Euro is 2 tenths back behind the Haas driver. Should able to overtake him now. Can't just stay behind him. He needs to do it right now while he has the chance to. In fact, it doesn't even matter because he heads off into the pits, but if he stayed out even longer, he would waste even more time, as Killer J, I think he's right behind somebody. In fact, Killer J's in the pits. Interestingly, Killer J's in the pits on A lap or meat hard, so they should go to the end unless he got full wind damage, which he doesn't, so he's just cost himself a lot of time there. He's got to a brand new set of softs with 13 laps remaining. Indian Jesus is absolutely comfortable at the front, no pressure from him whatsoever because Decino is 5.2 seconds behind him. He best hope those soft tyres go off towards the end of the race because he has to do 16 laps on those soft tyres. We've seen people do about 10 laps on those softs, so if his tyres do wear out, that's when Decino comes back into play and he's able to take advantage of that. So it's not over yet for Decino. You just best hope that Indian Jesus tyres just falls off the cliff towards the end of the race. So I don't think he still needs to push. He doesn't have to. He can't relax yet because you never know. So he still needs to push just to sit out. He has the facilities to go to all the way to the end without any tyre problems because he's on the hard compound tyres. But I'll be annoyed if I was Indian Jesus because I don't know if those tyres can do 60 laps. Shadow Moody has got Ginger's got a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, I presume, as Raphael rejoins out of the pits in 9th place. He's well ahead of Sikas. He's on a brand new set of mediums and he's got Krager in front of him to try and catch and overtake him. Are you okay, Nova?
Yeah, I'm back.
Good. No problem, mate. I didn't even know you went. I thought you were still there. 6.1, so he's gaining a lot of time as expected on those soft compound tyres. Obviously, Nova, I got a question for you. Can those soft tyres make it 16 laps for Indian Jesus?
They probably can, as... Who did we see? Was it Raphael that, or was it...
It wasn't
Prego
Raphael.
that went 16 laps?
His tyres were shot though. You should have saw
Yeah,
them.
they were shot, so I think he will just be able to make it to the end, but he just needs to not push as much as he will be doing. But
Thing is though, no offence, but truth is that Indian Jesus will be much faster, so therefore he will take more life out of the tyres compared to Craigo. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Nothing against Craigo, it's just a fact. So 11 laps to go on these set of softs. He's already done 4 of them so far. His medium tyres did 19, 20 laps and they were grained. Like, they were graining a lot, so I expect the same on the softs towards the end.
yeah, I think maybe get a puncher on the last lap. We'll have to see, because yeah, it's very good.
What Decino mustn't do is drop too far behind. He should still push because he knows that he's on the softs and they may fall off the cliff, so he still needs to push. He can't put his feet up and relax just yet.
As we see Euro into the pitch now.
He's done 11 laps on those soft compound tyres. I'm going to go on board with him if he's still in the pitch yet. Go on board with him. Does his tyres look dead? Yes, they do. They look dead, don't they? Faded. Yep, they look dead. You can see the blisters on the left front, and they're 11 lap hold.
Yeah, so maybe Indian Jesus is going to be able to make that to the end.
He will start to drop off the pace as expected. That's when Decino comes into play, and that's when he starts to gain and gain and gain. He can't relax. He needs to push, does Decino. He can't think, oh, he's on the soft compound tyres, I'm done anyways. You need to think about other alternative ways to win this race. Got to have that mentality where he just needs to push all the time without thinking what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's all down to strategy, like I said at the beginning. Indian Jesus, yeah, we just saw with Euro. Yeah, I don't think he's going to, unless he drops off the pace.
As you could say, Raphael, yep, as I was about to say that. But Raphael hasn't got the EOS. He's drained it all.
He's going to go for a move on the inside, and no, he's just backed out of that one. He'll be able to get a better exit, and I think he has got a better exit actually than the Red Bull, as got 2 tenths now, and he's got the DRS now. He's going to go to the inside. Will he be able to make the move into this corner? No, he's just going to have to back out there, and he's going to have to wait just a little bit longer. This is way better.
Also, I've noticed that Godly Nub is catching to Sadistic King on those hard tyres where Godly Nub's on the soft, so there'll be a fight between those two, and it should find it's a little bit easier being on those soft compound tyres. Sadistic King might get DRS at the back of those guys ahead. Those two are fighting for 15th place as Hassel's got past JJ Knox into turn 4.
No, he hasn't got the DRS actually, so we'll have a look at Godly then, as he's going to go to the inside of Sadistic then, and he's going to move up into P4. Will Sadistic be able to fight back though? No, I think he's just going to have to hang on to P5 at the time being. And yeah, I think that's P4 gone out the window for Sadistic now.
Also, what I've noticed is Beastie Boy is actually gaining on Decino. I remember the gap being 3.2 and even more up, about 5 seconds. He's actually brought the gap down to 1.9. So at this stage of this race, he's actually catching Decino. Decino needs to push, because if he doesn't, he has Beastie Boy all over his rear wingers. Euro's got past Killer J, and he's moved up into 10th place. Those two in 9th and 10th, or 10th and 11th, sorry. So he's took the final points of position away from Killer J, has Euro.
Beastly Boys is catching now, as he's already gained 3 tenths out of one corner. So yeah, as you said earlier, with Decino, he's going to have to start pushing if he wants to hold on to second place at the time being. But it looks like
yellow
Beastly Boys.
flags.
What's happened there?
Nothing. I think
that
it
was
was
just a mistake.
Yeah, I think Jack made a mistake. You see a bit of grass on his tyres.
Yeah, I think he just went a bit too wide there. Caught a bit of the grass.
The Gap is 1.4, so Decino needs to keep an eye out for Beastie Boy. Probably forget, I think he should forget about P1 and focus on P2 now, because Beastie Boy is gaining a rate of knots and he will soon be all over the back of him in a few laps time if Beastie Boy keeps up with his pace. Raphael on the back of Craigo coming out of turn 2. They both barely got any EOS to play with. And Raphael can't get past Craigo unless he can do a switchback. It's a better exit, which he does, but he doesn't use that to his advantage because the curb was there and he was worried if the curb or Craigo, if they're going to make contact with each other down there, so he backed out of it. So he needs to save EOS up. It's probably about 1 or 2 laps then go for the move instead of trying to do it every single lap. But talking about being in DRS range, Beastie Boy has got himself in that luxury 1 second range.
Has got the DRS.
What's happened to Decino's pace? What do you think's happened to him?
I think he's just trying to save his tyres a little bit. Maybe he's been pushing it quite a lot on those hard tyres, and now they're starting to drop off just that little bit now, so he's having to slow down the pace a little bit. Or maybe it's just because Beastie Boy's just quicker.
Raphael then, into turn 1, still stuck behind Craigo, can't get past him. Needs to find a different alternative to try and get past. In what ways can he pass? He needs to save EOS, it's just simple as. If you save EOS, you can get past. I know it's hard, but you can just save a little bit more up instead of...
Just a lot harder on this game compared to last game, because you could save it so much easier for this range. Even
he shouldn't use it on the straight, he should use it when he gets actually past him. Beastie Boy is all over the back of Decino, so he's actually caught up to him quite a lot as I expected him to. How's his tyres doing? Not too bad as I can see on board with him.
They both got similar ERS actually, so they both look certain.
Come on, Decino, save your EOS, man. You can get past him easily if you save your EOS. Just don't use it. Save it up for a few laps and get past him. Look, he's using it right now when he shouldn't supposed to be doing.
Yeah, wasted a little bit. I just drained so easy.
Oh, here comes Beastie Boy then. He's also drained his EOS. So has Decino. They both haven't got any EOS to play with, but look at Beastie Boy going around the outside. It's tail 1. I can't. Oh shit. Oh, he hasn't got past him.
Well, but the Renault's going to have a really bad exit. I think he's actually held it a little bit, but no, there's just a 10th within them now. Which way is it going to go, left or right? And it's going to be to the right on the outside line. And no, they're still going side by side, but he's not got it for now. Is he's going to try and go for the inside? And actually forces the Renault
should have backed out of that one.
Nah, and I don't think he's got it there either. That was good defending from Decino.
Go on, son, go down the inside. He is. Down the inside goes Raphael and Craigo. He's going to compromise Craigo because he is coming to an acute angle. Carrying less speed than Raphael. It goes around the outside. He still hasn't got past him. He's going to go alongside him with DRS. This is his chance to get past. Goes down the inside again. Does Craigo outbrake him? No, he doesn't. Does he get a switchback? No, he doesn't. Raphael has finally got past Craigo.
Yeah, fair play to Raphael there. He's been held up for so long and he's finally been able to get past Craigo to get a few extra points. As you see, Beastie Boys actually manages to finally get past Decino now. So he's back up into P2, but have a look at Decino then as he's got the DRS and he's going to try and go for a move on Beastie Boys. He's going to have to go to the outside as he's forced. He's got that way and he's going to go round the outside. He's got the move done.
Lovely move, but has he got deep?
Wide.
He doesn't get force.
Yes,
he did. Yeah, but I say he doesn't get force wide. He actually goes deep himself.
Yeah, he went deep himself. So yeah, Beastie Boys is back up into P2 then. This is great battle.
Craigo's to the DRS range of Raphael and I want to see if Beastie Boy actually gains on Indy and Jesus, because his soft tyres will start to wear out right about now. You can see a little bit of graining on the right hand side on his tyre as a line started to develop. Let's see if Decino can stay in the DRS range of Beastie Boy and try and take back his second place. I believe Beastie Boy's got a 3-second time penalty if I remember earlier in the race, so Beastie Boy needs to pull out a 3-second gap right about now to ensure that second place is his. And they've got a safe gap over 4th place. No need to worry about them.
First, but I don't think it's going to be enough yet. Actually, it could be, as they are very close to each other. Indy gets a 3-second time penalty.
Craigo still in the DRS range of Raphael. As you can see, Craigo saved more ERS compared to Raphael, well, 20% more. Got 1/5 more ERS than Raphael. So let's see how Indy and Jesus then can cope on those soft compound tyres, because I think the battles are almost done with. He heads on to lap 35 and I don't think I can see signs of a puncture developing. The front tyres don't really look too good, but they're not too bad. They are bad though. You can see the stripes developing and the start graining on those.
He's going to try it.
Goes deep into turn 1.
Yeah, Beastie Boys has got a bad exit. He went a bit too deep there, and Sino's managed to get past him, but they're still going side by side on the exit. But Sino has finally got past and back up into second place. This battle will still continue though.
Look at the run, he's got out of turn, what's it called, turn 4.
And that's Jack DNF. And he's spun.
Beastie Boy had a decent run coming out of turn 4, tried to use that momentum coming up to turn 5, but just couldn't get alongside and past. So this is going to go down to the wire between the two, because they're so close between each other, and it's going to be a drag race towards the end, as Indy and Jesus will start his last lap in a few laps time. Oh, here's the back of him.
Oh! No contact there. I don't think there was any wing damage looking.
Indy and Jesus will start his last lap now as Decino goes wide into the last corner.
No contact.
Beastie Boy going alongside the Renault. This is a drag race all the way down to the wire. Look at that, Beastie Boy having DRS. Will Decino think smartly about it? Down into turn 1 they go. And Decino covers off Beastie Boy, goes deep as well.
Back. Surely that was.
He's punishing his tyres and his ERS. And Beastie Boy doesn't get past. Decino will try to go around the outside, but he can't quite make it. This is going to go down to the wire between these two. Can't wait to see how it pans out. Will it be a drag race all the way down to the line? Seems like Beastie Boy is much better in the middle sector compared to Decino. So we'll find out if that's true or not. Can Beastie Boy try and get past Decino up the hill coming out of John Sal and take second place? A little bit over.
Jesus.
I'm keeping an eye on these two. I'll go to Indy and Jesus. And a few seconds, but Beastie Boy's hit the wall.
Oh, he's lost it. And that's absolutely compromised him
Indy
now.
and Jesus has won the Brazilian Grand Prix. Absolutely dominant performance from him. Decino will come home to finish in second place. A hard-earned second place from him. Beastie Boy will finish in third place after he spun, coming out of turn 11 and hit the wall, as he will finish down in P3. And Godly Numb will finish in P4. It will go down to the line between Ginger and Raphael. Sadistic King will finish in 5th. They'll keep an eye on these. It's the last battle for 6th place. Has Raphael got enough in him to try and out-drag Ginger to the line? I don't think it'll be close, but not close enough. And I think Ginger will manage to hold on to 6th place. And he has. The two AlphaTauris will finish in 6th and 7th, and Craigo will finish in 8th despite starting last. Craigo finishes in 7th place because Ginger's time penalties dropped him down into 8th, plus the Haas driver comes home to finish in 9th ahead of Euro.
Was the last point scorer then?
Killer J will finish in 11th place, and that is it, folks. That is the race done.
That was a good race. they used to have.
Surprisingly, there were no virtual safety cars or safety cars in Nova.
Yeah, there wasn't actually. That was actually quite surprising. I was expecting something to change in the race. As yeah, that was a absolutely awesome battle from Beastly Boys and Decino, and yeah, they were just absolutely awesome today.
We'll do podium interviews as well, shall we? Can you invite Decino? Can you invite Decino and Beastie Boy? I'll invite Indian Jesus. I bet Immortal will think, why are these two people joining the party?
To load.
Hopefully they'll join. My other league, they always join, but hopefully this one, I don't know if they know about it.
Right, I've invited the both. I think they're gonna join.
I'll tag them in the Discord server.
Oh, one of them's joined, Indian Jesus.
I've got one of them, and it's the race leader, thankfully. Who was the other one? Decino.
Yeah.
We'll wait for the other two. I don't think one of them's coming. So I'm sorry, Beastie Boy is not coming to the podium interviews, so it will be Indian Jesus and Decino. Decino hopefully will join. I think he's happy with second place. We'll give it a few minutes, then we'll have a chat with Indian Jesus. If he joins, he joins. So we'll go on to the race leader. Absolute dominant performance, mate. Absolute well done to you, mate. You started on the medium tyres and went on to the soft tyres. What do you think? What do you think about that race? Oh, he's not here. I'm talking to myself. He says he's gone for a smoke. We'll just wait for him to finish his smoke, then we'll get on with it. So any questions, Nova, just think about them now. Can't wait to hear from our race leader when he comes back. see if we could talk to our good friend Braden. Braden, you there? Yeah, Indian Jesus just won the race in our league.
What?
Indian Jesus won the race in our league.
Indian Jesus.
Yeah.
Always knew I did. I was rooting for him from the start. How long was the race? Usually longer than this, isn't it?
He's left, doesn't matter. We'll end it there. Thanks for the waste of time.
Wait, why did he join?